Hey everyone, it's Solon. I'm hoping to get a good look at this is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Your world as you knew it is gone. How far will you go to bring it back? Shepard created a war, but only we knew the truth.
So this is an ongoing plot from the first two Modern Warfares.
We're gonna get Sub out of here. Ah, I know a place.
I believe those were previous set pieces from the other games. I am not sure though. Metaphor being that the world is shattered like glass. It's a compromising place to start, but a gurney's not the worst place. These are kind of like flashbacks, I guess, on like last time on Call of Duty, kinds of episodic things. Oh boy. I love how he just magnetically reacquired a knife. That was most of their advertising campaign, was the idea that a W and an M are the same shape. Definitely remember that. So we're looking at a technology-infused world.
What's the sit rep on New York? The Russian jamming rigs have neutralized our air support. As long as they maintain air dominance, it's a losing fight.
We cannot lose New York. Are there any special mission units in the area we can request?
JSOC's got a Delta Force team at Bennett Field. Call sign Metal.
Overlord, Metal 01 is up on Greensat.
This is Sandman. Understand we are OPCON to you. Over.
Glad to have you in our corner, Sandman. The Russians are using electronic countermeasures to jam our comms and guidance systems. The primary emission tower is on top of the stock exchange. I need your team to destroy it. The jammer's full spectrum, so until it's down, you'll have no radio contact. I have ground assets to get you close. Over.
Copy all. We'll get it done.
Okay, I may not have been listening very clearly, but sounds like somebody bad has jammed a something rather in Manhattan. And it sounds like everything is going terrible on the home front.
Get switched on. We gotta move now.
A lot of the idea of Modern Warfare 3 compared to the first two is that it's supposed to be very... the scale of everything is bigger. So you're going to get a lot of movie-like, Hollywood-esque set pieces, bigger stakes, and just kind of more stuff going on. So that's another thing to keep in mind along with all of the other things, like the idea of seeing armed militants inside of US borders and stuff like that. Okay, anyways, this is going to be I'm going to try to make this a very basic overview, but right now we're moving around and we'll get little instructions on how to. I can see this guy is kind of like shooting in my direction, so I'm going to assume that that's an enemy. If you haven't seen a lot like a first-person shooter, then one of the best places you can kind of go to see analogs. I guess reload is square. Analogs to this would be like an arcade shooter. So you can see a lot of these bad guys pop out from nowhere, and that's basically a not like a shout out, but it comes from that exact same place. So I can't just shoot normally and expect to hit stuff. I actually always and constantly have to aim down the sights. and that can be an important thing to know, because it is a much more intimate way. So, whoa. Luckily, I can take a lot of bullets compared to everything else that I'm fighting that really cannot.
Hold your fire. No shit. Eyes on the exchange. Left side, dead ahead. Roger, I see it.
Okay, so I guess I have a button to get down on the ground. Toggle dual scope. Okay. So now I can get even more intimate. So let's see if I can just... Oh! Okay. Guess I can't just press whenever I want. Press forward into places. Okay. So I guess I'm following Sandman.
Same as before. Burn the jammer, kill the bad guys.
They're still obscuring who the bad guys are.
Prince, truck, hold here till my signal. Frost, with me. Rod. Let's keep moving.
A lot of, how did you even get up there? Anyways, all the comrades don't have, like, ranks as much as they have very personalized nicknames or pseudonyms for themselves. Oh. Well, they must have all come out of this helicopter that crashed into the side of this building. Because why else would they be in between levels? Dude, I was just at 12 o'clock high. Okay. So, just kind of analyzing that we're in a Western person's house. Lots of books and art. That it's kind of a swanky New York penthouse thing. Large windows or mirrors or something? It's always funny to analyze set pieces while you're in the middle of a game. It's not like analyzing set pieces in other mediums because stuff is happening around you. Okay, so I can also change to other guns that the bad guys or the enemies were using. And they'll all do different things.
Prince, truck, tighten up. Maintain the timeline. We need to hit the exchange.
So it looks like there's some other exchange-based goal or something. Oh, sorry.
Multiple voices. Alley behind the door. Frost, toss a 9-bagger.
I don't know what that means, but we will figure that out. Okay, so it looks like it flashed them and blinded their senses for a little bit. Or at least that's the idea.
Back onto Wall Street. Jammer's not far. Watch the windows and doors. Double check the shadows.
Truck, you getting anything on your comms? Nothing but static. Jammer's got us in the dark.
You can see they put a lot of detail into each individual gun. They have like serial numbers, etc.
Shooters in the store below. Switch them off.
Roger that.
You can see that. Not yet, not yet. There we go. There's on the butt of the gun, you can see a number.
Truck! Signal moving by the display cases to the right!
Let's see if I can use another thingy. Oh, that was not a flash. Okay.
Grinch, take up Overwatch while we clear the store. I'm on it.
These other people's friendly banter is very helpful. And by helpful, I mean that They're just telling me what I'm already doing.
Contact, take cover!
Oh, this is the opposite of taking cover. So, So the violence on the receiving end is that there's these big red blood splatters, or they're supposed to be symbolic of splatters, but other than that, no other visible wounds other than a change in state, being from actively against me to not moving, and then eventually going away. Which is a very interesting difference between what actually happens.
Hold fire, Anvil team approaching. Anybody hit? We're good. What's the sit rep on Midtown?
Russians have it locked down. They're kicking our ass. We can't get through.
There's your answer.
Any word on air support?
Still nothing. Guidance systems are scrambled. We need to get that jammer down.
Then let's move. Their dug is crossed. Get on the XM-25 and flush them out.
So, as we probably guessed, these are all Russians. Which means that they are white. Which means that they are someone that the US has a history with. Not necessarily sure what that means for the idea of other, because I think the point is to obscure that to some extent, but there'll definitely be a language, or in the case of an American game, an accent difference. As we've heard with a lot of the characters in the very beginning, explore different accents, and that's their main mode of differentiating between where people are from. Other than that, as far as the shooting goes, at this point I'm just analyzing the streets for targets. And when I say the word target, I literally mean like a dartboard kind of target. Interesting quirk about video games is that what I'm scanning for are not people as much as they are dehumanized targets. We see that a lot in multiplayer games. People will actually do things to make their graphics worse in order to increase the frame rate of their game and how fast it moves. And basically, they'll look less like people and more like big blocky targets. It's kind of a weird thing, but that's how competitive games work. And that's why when I look at the ideas of militarism in games, it takes a lot of care to separate the actual violence that happens in the game from the violences in war, because they could not be any more different. Oh, they could definitely, well, I guess they could be more different, but they're not completely dissimilar, as a lot of virtual reality training can prove. But they have they have modest differences, I guess, is a way of putting it. I feel like I guess I just need to go to this little dot that says 18 meters.
Inside the stock exchange, let's move.
Okay, that seems to make the everyone move a little bit more. The more I can get my guys to move, the more the other guys can go way faster. So, follow the dots, shoot the targets. Pretty simple game. Much more complicated things would be like using the controller and moving in a three-dimensional world. Fortunately, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours playing first-person shooters, so I'm comfortable, not good. And if that seems kind of weird to be like, I've spent hundreds of hours of doing something and I'm not actually that good at it, that's because this is not something that's easy. And if you're someone who's like, I don't play games ever, and so I would have no idea how to start, they don't make it easy, and there are specific reasons why it's not something that's the most accepting community. And that's part of the gamer privilege, is that not only do they already have spent a lot of time doing this, but they also have a lot of time to spend working on it. A lot of people, like people who become parents, get out of gaming and stop using that as an identity when they become parents, to the point to where they never come back, and which isn't a bad thing at all, but it could seem like that. I know that, I mean, my dad spent a while playing a lot of different games, probably between when I was like 8 and 16, and hasn't played one in years. Just because it's a little too much work to get back into it. And so there's kind of a skills acquisition to it. So if you can kind of see that in the way that I moved, how indiscriminate it seemed. But part of that is just the idea of, if you've ever like shot skeet or any kind of other thing, there's or like paintball or any kind of target practice, there's a point to where you can train yourself to shoot specific things that look different. Oh, that was a bad guy. I was gonna give him a hug. Oh, cool. So do I do it from here? Oh! That was probably not the safest way to do it, but there we go. Tower's coming down. A very dramatic fall. It's like a giant falling off of being tripped. See these charred buildings. Oh my gosh, they're on opposite buildings too. So, you can kind of see the scale that we're working at in Modern Warfare 3, especially with these charred buildings. It's supposed to be like, alright, 9/11 to the max! Kind of like a beefy macho 80s movie, but made in the 2000s. Okay, so it's telling me to use the Predator drone. I'll see if I can... Oh. I'll get down so it doesn't hurt me. Whoa, what's it? I'm trying, I'm sorry. It's not responding. Okay, so it looks like I've got control of some kind of drone. Well, that's swell. So I can send a whole bunch of missiles. Oh, that's my target. Oh, and if you see in the bottom right that I can't use that special power anymore. And there's our reward for clicking enough targets. Is that we can leave. Now I don't have control anymore. Oh, now I have control of a bigger gun.
Metal 01, stand by for new mission directive. Over.
So,
Roger, Overlord, send it.
We have multiple Russian
drones are a
warships
pretty
near
important
ports.
part of
We sent the SEALs to assault the command vessel. Proceed to New York Harbor to assist.
what's going on in this game.
Your last.
Metal 01, be advised, we're seeing multiple enemy rotor wings in your airspace.
Enemy bird incoming.
Oh, looks like they're doing something really bad.
Stay on him. Frost, down there, rush your bird.
So, you can kind of see more of the same, just getting bigger and bigger. Not much into pacing. Like having points where it's not as stressful, but the game just will continue to get bigger and bigger for the next 15 or so playing hours. Anyways, thanks for hanging out and watching, and hope this was at least a little bit helpful.